throw you in a can. What? You're gonna want a shotgun. What? One automatic rifle and a lot of ammo. Good.
We're all set to riot. Buy a gun before you lose your Second Amendment. Buy a gun. They'll burn you out like a Waco. They'll stick your ass in a camp. Jack booty cops in riot gear, gonna kick your ass and laugh. The revolution is on its way. Better lock and load your AK. Buy a gun, 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 buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. Buy a gun, 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 buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. We're all set to riot. Buy a gun before you lose your Second Amendment. Buy a gun. They gave your money to the banksters. They stole your pension funds. It's time that we took to the streets. It's time we had our turn. A revolution is on its way, and the founding fathers would say, buy a gun, 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 buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. Buy a gun, 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 buy a gun before you wish you bought a gun. You gotta riot in the streets. Revolution's not clean and neat. You gotta riot in the streets. Revolution's not clean and neat. You gotta drag them through the streets.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday. It is primer time on the one, the only UCY.TV. My name is Michael, and it's not appropriate to file charges against me.
That's because you're just the right size to fail.
I am just the right size to fail. Nick, it's good to have you back, man.
Oh, thank you very much. I've had a couple weeks that I've been out and about. First things first, have a soldier that I am sponsoring in the Best Warrior competition for 2016. And we are moving on past 3 levels. We are going to the U.S. Army Cybercom Soldier of the Year competition, and I guess it does a soldier good to have a 21-year veteran in his corner, making sure that he's not messing up. So we will be going on to that, and then the next step after that is Department of the Army. So so far we've bested a field of 120,000 individual candidates. So hopefully we can knock out the other 480,000.
Cool. So this puts this guy up in line for like Soldier of the Year or something, right?
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, this is what used to be called back in the day of Soldier of the Year competitions, when it was just a board appearance in front of some senior non-commissioned officers. They'd ask you a bunch of questions, look at your uniform, do a bunch of facing movements. It's no longer that way. It's a very physical and mentally taxing competition. Usually we do this for a week at a time. And events include day and night dismounted land navigation. Usually takes him about 3 hours to complete the course, and he has anywhere between 4 and 5 individual points that he has to navigate to using a compass and a map. He's got a physical fitness test consisting of a 2-mile run, 2 minutes worth of push-ups, and 2 minutes worth of sit-ups, in addition to doing a 12-mile road march timed, and he must complete in under 3 hours wearing a minimum 35-pound pack. And then going into some situational type things, patrol lanes, really testing out his ability to lead a squad size element. In addition to that, there's weapons knowledge, which is right up my alley, where he has to take apart the Mark 19, it's a 40 millimeter grenade launcher, the M240 Bravo machine gun, the M249 squad automatic weapon, and the M4, which is a regular carbine rifle, and then the M9 pistol, or the M11, which is the SIG. So in and amongst all those tasks, there's some other things in addition to the board appearance, making sure that his uniform fits him, his knowledge of the Army's programs, the Army's leadership, and the Army's command policy, and making sure that he doesn't piss anybody off along the way, in addition to besting all his other competitors.
Well, that actually sounds like it's a hell of a lot more work than it sounds like.
It's a lot of work. But, I tell you what, I would much rather have a guy like that, going forward and becoming a leader and doing the things that, I want to pass on to him. And hopefully he takes that and does it for the next generation of soldiers, because it sounds like we're going to need it.
I would dare say so. Well, today's an interesting day. I mean, it's let's say it's the day after Independence Day for sure.
Oh yeah,
Independence Day has passed, people.
Yep. Put the fireworks away.
We are in a brave new world.
I'll tell you what. I just got to get it off my chest. Hillary Clinton should be in jail. Like, there is no other place for her to be. Each one of those 110 individual emails that the director of the FBI mentioned, this was not gross negligence. This was not extremely careless. This was a crime. She has violated her non-disclosure agreement to properly safeguard all classified information, whether marked or not, which is different than what she says when she's on the news. She has a duty to protect that information. And not only that, but each one of those individual 110 emails carries a fine of 10 years and or $100,000 punishment. So I'll tell you what, the woman should be locked up for the next 110 years of her life and paying back a ton of money from her Clinton Foundation. That's all there is. There's no other explanation for anybody that's ever handled or dealt with classified information. The fix is in, folks. It's Hillary. You're just going to have to accept it.
I've long said that it was the Hillary thing, and as you were cutting me off, I was bringing this show to that, because honestly, it's a slap in the face to everybody. If you've ever had a parking ticket, if you've ever had a speeding ticket, if you've ever had any sort of interaction with the law that has taken money or time away from you, this is a slap in your face. If you've never had any interaction with the law that has taken money or time away from you, this is a slap in your face.
Totally. And not only that, but, you have this Republican Congress that was voted in about a year ago or a little bit longer, that was supposed to be cleaning up Washington, supposed to be getting rid of the cronyism, supposed to be getting rid of the unconstitutional advances by this administration.
These are the same sons of bitches. The crony cleaning uppers are the same sons of bitches who bring in Netanyahu to come in and speak to the goddamn Congress.
Exactly. They're
bought and sold. These are Israeli agents. Not a fucking one of these sons of bitches at any point in this entire fucking structure of this whole mess work for the people. Not a fucking one of them.
I'll tell you what, every single one of these members of Congress is derelict in their duties to the people of the United States whom they represent if they do not find this administration, as well as the heads of the cabinet departments for the Department of Justice and the FBI, if they do not find them in some kind of violation of their prescribed and sworn duties, there's nothing else to say. The system is entirely broken.
I mean, look, James Comey, who, by the way, at one point in his life was a Clinton appointee, all right? So James Comey, as he's giving his speech today, said that at another time, in another place, that these charges and these allegations from the FBI and the thousands of man-hours of investigation involved in this would have resulted in charges for somebody else, but not today.
Any else.
Charges are appropriate today, and yeah, here we are.
Her husband was impeached. Even he did not escape justice unscathed. But she's more Teflon than anybody. John Gotti can't hold a candle to her. John Gotti went to prison.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're at all concerned about firearms rights in the United States and you do not have one, please go purchase a firearm. Join the rush that is, I'm sure, occurring as we speak.
I noticed today, and it's very interesting. The announcement came out. I want to say it was about 12, maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock my time. it was pretty right on top. It's funny. My gun stock in Ruger went down $1.53 today. I would have expected that thing to go through the roof.
That's interesting that it went down. I would dare say that it's going to continue to climb. Um, you know, um, but we can't look at the market as any sort of kind of like indicator of anything. That's not any sort of barometer of truth. I mean,
No. And it's funny because
spirit in that bubble is contaminated as well.
yeah, and
So I mean, this whole is off.
it's not only that it's off, but this is the thing. This is the funny thing. This administration likes to paint Wall Street as the enemy. Listen to Bernie Sanders. Everything is horrible about Wall Street. But what's the first thing the administration does? It points to economic prosperity by saying the Dow Jones is up.
Well, that's the appropriate lie. That's the lie that the people will swallow. That they've been conditioned to swallow the theory that if Wall Street is doing good, you're doing good, because you have an investment plan with you got a retirement plan with your job, man. I mean, like you put like $100 a month into it. You're standing up for this. You're a part of this system, and yeah, they got no fucking clue. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the most educated guy on this subject, but I recognize when I'm being jammed in the ass with a knife, and that's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah.
I mean, at every level, you're being jammed in the ass with a knife on your taxes. You are being jammed in the ass with a knife in your right to speak. Your right to purchase firearms is
evaporating in front of your face.
It's going away right now. You can watch. It's like, what was it in? Was that Back to the Future when Michael Fox is kind of like fading out? That's your firearms rights. That's the Second Amendment right there.
Well, yeah, it is. It's interesting that this happened today. It's a Tuesday. It's not like it's not like a busy news day. It's not like there were 150 something injured people in Chicago due to violence and people using firearms in a way that was designed and bound to hurt someone. So it's not like we had nothing else to talk about out there, but they went ahead and put that out there. I would say that you're just going to have to accept it. There's no other way.
Let's absolutely discuss the Chicago thing. All right, so this is the first weekend of July in 2016. This shit mess is going on in Chicago every weekend for as long as I've been alive.
Yeah.
Would you dare say that?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, would you dare say that since the early 70s, Chicago, the downtown Chicago had killings every goddamn weekend in it. Since the early 70s.
Certainly.
That's a fair thing to say. So black lives do not matter unless you can promote them in the media.
Well, black lives they don't matter when they're getting killed. They only matter. That's the only time. I mean, honestly, call it for what it is. The Black Lives protesters, they only care about blacks when they're getting killed by white cops. That's the only time it matters. They don't care about it when they're getting killed by their own.
Right. I think that's fair to say that the Black Lives Matter protest really is only Black Lives only mattering when a cop kills them. That's absolutely fair. You have now. I will say in fairness, there are some people who do protest every death, but those numbers are infinitesimally small compared to the outrage that happens when whatever case of the week that comes out of the metro areas of the United States that involves the Black Lives Matter. That's great, and that's none of my concern. My gun had not a goddamn thing to do with that.
No,
yours?
No, not only that. Your God-given right as outlined in the Constitution, which, according to some people, is just an outdated shred of parchment. That had absolutely nothing to do with this. There is such a thing as free will. Whether you're religious or not, there is such a thing as free will. And as an American, you have pretty much free will to do whatever thing, whatever and anything you want to do. There are consequences for actions, or at least there used to be, but that's how most of us have been brought up. That you can do what you can afford to get away with. Apparently, some of us can afford to do more than others.
I would dare say that's, staring us all in the face. I really can't say exactly how bad today's legal decision regarding Hillary Clinton is for the entire.
And see, that's the thing. I don't think this is a legal decision. I think this is a decision by a political appointee who is using discretion to decide whether or not to execute the duties of their office. And that is something that is an impeachable offense.
I'll agree with that. Yeah. It's absolutely not a legal decision because it didn't go to court. None of this goes to court. The recommendation is that no charges be applied.
Right. So, nothing to see here, folks. Move along.
Hey, at the exact same time, he says that if this was somebody else of a different place, of a different time, that, this is totally prosecutable, but not this time.
Yeah. Not this time, and not on this person. Not on this person.
You've been told the score, America, and listeners of this audience, you already knew. But if anybody catches this downstream on YouTube, whatever, they played this at the court hearing, whatever, you have been told who runs this place, who is untouchable. You're being told every time shit like this happens. Wait, we can't fix, we got an entire city, let's just take Flint, Michigan, entire city, lead water pipes, right? Lead in the water. Lead is
for
shown
generations. For
generations. Lead in the water has been shown to cause increased levels of violence. So the answer is
not only violence.
Give Israel $40 billion fucking dollars and take away the Americans' guns. That's the answer.
I'll tell you what. I have yet to come across anyone that can give me a legitimately semi-thought out or intelligent discussion without resorting to name calling or ad hominem attacks about why Hillary Clinton did not break the law. Because you get told right away, oh well you're a misogynist because you don't want a woman in the White House. Well obviously
you're manhood threatened by the fact that I know exactly what you're saying, man. And I've been watching CNN because this is like watching it's CNN is Pravda. I'm fully of the opinion that CNN is Pravda now. And as a matter of fact, today after the announcement, they were almost celebrating.
Oh yeah, you might as well have seen the president sitting with Hillary Clinton, watching this in the same room while the announcement is being made. Toasting with champagne. That's something I'm sure happened.
And even though that Air Force One costs what? It's $200,000 an hour, and then it kicks up to like $640,000 an hour while it's like actually in operation. But it's like hourly cost is like $200,000 an hour. That's just a small price to pay to have such a mind at work for us.
Well, did I drop into chat the last time I was on a copy of the book that I saw at Target that had a picture of a juvenile Hillary Clinton with the title "Hillary Clinton: Some Girls Are Born to Lead." The propaganda is flowing. It's out there. You remember during the last election where you had entire schools singing the praises of Obama. It's coming. It's going to be Hillary Clinton this time.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah. I fully agree that. Yeah, the legion of the Mao jacketed Hillary Youth Corps.
Yeah,
will be out there.
where pantsuits are mandated for all girls.
Nehru jackets for all. My God, it fell apart. Were we watching TV or something when this happened? I mean, like, what?
Dancing with the Stars was on the line. That had to have
You
been.
didn't have to figure it out. You
Yeah.
no longer had to figure out what 7 yards from the 28 was.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think that was a downfall.
Well, honestly, I'll go a couple years back. I'm a little bit older than you, so I remember when I was in first grade, the big push, kindergarten and first grade, the big push to learn the metric system. We had to learn the metric system because we were switching over the metric system, and that was the way America was going to be. And if we knew it, we were going to be part of the change.
That's right.
The people, and no metric system. You know who knows the metric system now?
The
Kids who
military.
buy dope.
Not only the
Kids
who
who buy dope.
and those of us in the military.
People in the military and kids who buy dope. That's who knows the metric system.
Yep, because it's a lot easier to count to 10 than it is to 12 or 16.
Right. And I mean, but no, they even know the conversion.
Well, that's helpful. I'll tell you that. That's helpful.
You can go to any high school, let's just say any high school sophomore, and ask them how many grams are in a quarter ounce, and they will be as shifty. It's triggering.
Yeah, it's
impressive.
It's a triggering aggression, I'm sure.
I think it might actually be shifty is actually a full aggression.
Yeah, go figure.
So yeah, I don't know. So look, things have changed today. I think really it marks more so than any of the other events in our history. I think today marks kind of a.
This is a turning point. I really think that this is a turning point to anyone who used to believe in the rule of law. If you believed that the law and our laws in this country were absolute and that justice, though slow, would be served, I think that your world has come crashing down.
Yeah, we've all been lied to, and it should be plainly apparent for everybody now. No more. I didn't see that. I was watching football. No. You are a slave, and you are second class. You're little people.
Oh yes. So I'm going to go ahead and drop something here in chat. So this is paragraph 3 for Miss Clinton. She has no federal office. This is what she agreed to and signed prior to being able to hold a security clearance. Interesting thing is that just a pattern of misconduct, which I think you could consider doing something wrong 110 times, I'm pretty sure you can call that a pattern of misconduct, would actually prohibit her from holding a security clearance in the future. So the problem is that, this is all known. This is not hard to figure out. The only way that I can say that this actually went down is that there has to be complicity in between the Department of Justice and
maybe when she signed that part, it was smudged. Maybe she couldn't read that part. It was smudged.
Yeah, go figure. It's a sad day. I'll tell you what, because they act like there was no precedent for prosecuting Hillary Clinton. I mean, unless they completely forgot about former General Petraeus, unless they really totally forgot about the cross-dresser who is now allowed to get back into the military, who is still serving time in prison for doing the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure that while
Bradley Manning,
or Chelsea, as she preferred to be called right
so
now.
How's she allowed back into the military?
Well, she has a felony conviction, so she will not be getting back into the service anytime soon, unless they change that one, which wouldn't surprise me if they do. There was actual intent to harm the government, and I think that's what's easier to prove for people within the military than, say, somebody who is a civilian civil servant, like Hillary Clinton was.
Yeah, there's no intent to harm the government. It was just outright greed and incompetence on her part.
Exactly.
So you're free to go, ma'am.
Yeah, we can't prove that you enriched yourself. We can't prove that you withheld information as required by law to be kept on hand on government systems to where there could be oversight. No, we're just going to overlook that part of it. So.
I really don't think it can be said enough. You have been told exactly where you stand, America.
Yeah, not only where you stand in America, but
they are going to come and take your guns. They are going to come and take your guns. It's not going to be a handy buyback. They're going to kick in your fucking door and they're going to take your guns.
yeah,
That's
take a look. We just had some big news coming out of California.
They're going to make a jobs program. They are going to dump the prisons. They are going to let out every angry fucking illegal alien they can. They're going to put a uniform on him, and your job is to go and kick in doors and find guns. That's what's going to happen. Get ready, America. We're not bullshitting you. I think that's what's coming.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we just saw the state of California enact some of the, I would say this is probably wide-ranging gun control legislation that we've seen to date. You've got Hawaii. Hawaii went and did their gun registry that connects to the national firearms database.
That's exactly what the Hawaii registry does. If you ended up getting some sort of problem in another state, that actually gets transmitted back to Hawaii, and Hawaii enters that up into the NCIS. Is that correct?
Well, it goes to the basically the criminal instant background check service.
Right.
So, not only that, but the Hawaii is going to go to something called a wrap back, which will automatically let them know in the state of Hawaii if you've been convicted of a felony or any other offense with a firearm instantaneously. So, whether or not you want to make the argument for felons to have their rights restored and people to regain access to firearms once they've been, adjudicated as having paid their debt to society, that's one thing. But this is going to be something that the state will maintain and will have a door address or a physical address to your residence knowing that you have a firearm.
They're going to come in and take your guns. It's been stated. That's exactly what they want to do. Everybody I know right now who's in maybe a generation above me, a half a generation above me, they absolutely hate CNN. They hate the leftist media, the mainstream media, and they'll watch Fox, and they'll believe all that. Well, I'm going to tell you what, in times like this, you don't necessarily want to hear what your buddy has to say. Because, well, there's a reason why he's your buddy, because you think alike.
Yeah,
you want to hear what the fuck. You want to hear what the fucking enemy says.
And not only that, they know what you want to hear.
It's the Jewish woman on CNN who's screaming about the white Bible thumper with the gun that scares her and makes her feel uncomfortable when they ask her to use the woman's bathroom. That's who the enemy is, and they want to take your gun. Those are the people who are advocating to, yes, take your gun, not a buyback, but a kick in your door and search your house and take your gun. That's what they want.
I cannot disagree with you. There is a large segment of the population that is out there that wants you to not have firearms at all. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure we've got a story about an actor named Matt Damon who is advocating for the very same thing. I just dropped that in chat for you folks, so you guys can go ahead and take a look at it when you got a chance. So
Matt Damon gave a speech the other day, and he was speaking with an Australian audience, and with a lot of fervor and a lot of emotion. I mean, that's what the man makes millions of dollars for, and he demands an Australia style or tougher campaign in the United States to make us safe again.
Yeah, because you're incapable of taking care of yourself.
Shootings every goddamn day, dude. Every day we lose like 10,000 children to school shootings every day.
Yeah.
To full auto assault rifles that were bought without any kind of ID at Walmart and at a gun shop, just like Al Qaeda, Azam al-Ameriki, a.k.a. Adam Perlman, Adam Gadon, son of a Jewish urologist in California.
Well, and that's one of the things. He alludes to the Australian-style gun control, which was confiscation. And he wishes that it could happen here in this country. And you know what? You can't have confiscation unless you got somebody showing up to pick things up, right? Because otherwise it would be voluntary.
And let's ignore the fact that Matt Damon is Jason Bourne, who kills everybody like a super spy. He was Saving Private Ryan, which had a fair amount of gunplay considering it was World War II. The last movie he was in that I saw was Elysium, where he freely uses a firearm to attain his wishes in that movie.
Yeah, he was actually he played an army soldier back in Geronimo's time in one of his other movies that was not critically acclaimed, by the way. One of his first career flops.
He was in that movie with Denzel Washington in the tanks.
Courage Under Fire.
He was the junkie soldier.
Yeah, the junkie medic.
That's right.
Because most medics are junkies, I'll tell you that much.
Shut up. That's a lie.
That is absolute truth. That is absolute truth. Because you know why they become medics? Because they get access to all the good dope.
Well, yeah.
Well,
yeah. We're not supposed to talk about that right now.
Just in case.
Right now, we're not Hillary in the direction of this nation. So I don't know. I see the two-faced, the double standard, the in-your-face, almost class warfare that's going on, and really people who enjoy the things that we enjoy are being considered to be lesser.
Well, yeah, if it's not even the haves versus the have-nots. It's the haves versus the who never will. I mean, I don't know. I think we're burning too much time on something that's never going to change anyway. So, guess what I did on it was on Sunday afternoon.
Tell me.
I went out and shot about 15 different rifles, and actually got to put some rounds down range on a caliber that we really haven't talked about before.
Okay, well, which would you like to hit first?
So, one of my partners has a lease, an area where he can go hunting, and they also have a range on it. And he brought out his 17 HMR. This is pretty much it's in the same general family as a 22 in terms of relative size to the case and the bullet, but this thing is like a laser. Pinging a steel target at 200 yards, consistently hitting the same thing, same point of impact. It was amazing.
Now, describe the 17 HMR. That's a .17 bullet that is probably about 20 grains, and that's sitting on a 22 Magnum, or is that a 22 long rifle case that's been necked out?
I think it's a 22 Magnum. So, yeah, this is something that is moving pretty fast. We were
2,000 feet per second.
Yeah, definitely. And we set up sighting in targets to make sure that we were hitting dead on. Checked our distances to make sure that we had either a holdover or hold under, just to make sure we were going to aim at distance. And then we even started breaking out the summer fruit. There were some cantaloupes and some watermelons that were harmed in the filming of those events.
I'm triggered.
Yeah,
I truly.
It was a lot of fun. I will tell you that there was next to no recoil. Of course, I was using some hearing protection, so I didn't really seem to mind any of the report from the end of the barrel. The rifle that we were shooting on was a CZ model. I believe it was a 455, and that had iron sights, but he had a Zeiss Terra 3x9 by 40 or 42 millimeter scope. So we were outfitted very well. He has absolutely no problem taking a squirrel-sized animal at 200 yards. And if you can see through most forests,
honestly, I was just saying, if you can see a squirrel-sized animal at 200 yards, you're doing pretty good.
Exactly. And I think we easily shot up between us. We usually shot up 200 rounds, and it's not hard to get a hold of. It's in every single one of your big box stores, and it's usually right next to where your 22 ammo will be. and you'll know it's there because it's the 17 HMR that has like boxes and boxes in the shelf, whereas the 22 won't have anything.
It would be the pile next to the empty spot.
Yes, exactly. So
okay, well, I've got almost a differing opinion on the 17 HMR and exactly what you're talking about there with the the almost illusion of the availability. I think it's got the illusion of the availability, and it's there for maybe one go around in the way that the American supply system works. But I think what's on that shelf is gone. 17 HMR becomes a unicorn. The money is in making 22 long rifle, and that's what the demand is for. 17 HMR and 17 Mach 2 and all that. Any of those rimfire 17s. I see in the future when we face another 2013 style ammo crunch, and I'm not trying to go back to the same subject, but I'm saying that, yeah, it's coming. But in the future, when there's that ammo crunch, what you see on that shelf right there, even though it looks like it's a lot, that's an illusion. There's none in the back. And once that's gone, that's gone. It's not coming back because people want those same cases for 22 long rifle and 22 Magnum.
Yeah.
And so I'm sketchy on 17 HMR. I think in a perfect world, yeah, it's got a great place, but it's not for me.
Well, no. And like I said, there's different applications for what, that round is not only capable of, but what you want it to do. So, what it's capable of and what you as an individual shooter want it to do, those two things may not be compatible.
And the most important thing that we want it to do is to go bang. And if there's no ammunition on the shelf, it does nothing except look good on the wall.
Well, there you go. 17 HMR was also used as one of those hillbilly spotlighter rounds. Guys that used to poach animals in the middle of the night frequently use the 22 mag or the 17 HMR to take headshots on deer. And
well, I'll tell you, I know I don't have a TV, so I don't watch. There's a TV show, Swamp People, and the 22 Magnum is actually quite well used in that. They hunt alligators, crocodiles, or whatever, and the 22 Magnum's quite well loved. As a matter of fact, Mossberg has made a 22 Magnum bolt-action rifle that's kind of short and fairly handy, and it's a Troy Landry special to use with the the same Chudum Elizabeth 22 Magnum stuff. So 22 Magnum has far more use than I'd say the 17 HMR, and even though they're both the same parent case. I just think when the crunch comes down, people are still going to want that 22 Magnum. There's not going to be the 17 on the shelf.
Yeah, well, that's funny because there is a. You ever heard of the 222 Remington Magnum?
I have. That's the parent cartridge of the 223 and the 5.56.
So the 222 Remington Magnum is actually out of production. And you can still find it, surprisingly, you can still find it in stores, but these are not going to be like new production ammo. These are going to be things that, were produced in the 80s. And
certain manufacturers will have, we'll use your 222 for an example. We'll know that load is obsolete. They don't make that cartridge anymore. But every 5 years, they'll make a run of that ammunition. They'll make a certain run of it and restock that. Yeah. And then maybe 2 or 3 years later, another manufacturer will make that run. So, I mean, manufacturers do have a way of doing that. It does become quite expensive. If you're looking for stuff that's in hard to find calibers, I would suggest looking at a website called oldwesternscrounger.com. That guy's got lots of bullets for lots of obsolete firearms and hard to find rounds for current firearms. But it is pretty expensive. So yeah, that's kind of that getting into the really expensive part. That's why I kind of just stay away from the 17 because I can see I can read the writing on the wall.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things that I was able to actually go take out, we did take out the 5.56 and the 22. I'm sorry, the 5.56, the 308, the 8x57, and we took out the 300 blackout. And I am pleased to say every single one of those was hitting 200 yard steel gong, no problem. The most, and I wanted to tell you this specifically, Michael, because the most impressive rifle on the day was the 300 blackout. Literally shot the center out of a target at 100 yards, unsuppressed, using supersonic ammo.
What was the report of that rifle unsuppressed? How? I mean, I know you had ears, but did you get it at all tempted to drop them and see if it was the same as 5.56 without ears?
I will tell you the 5.56 was decibels louder. Even with my electronic muffs on, you could not only hear, but you could feel the difference between the two. The 300 blackout, for some reason, is just quieter, and
it's moved a little bit slower and it's pushing a bigger. Yeah, it makes.
Not only that, you have less powder in it than you do on the 5.56. So you're taking a look at, I think, the Hornady load guide says for the 300 blackout, something about 14 or 15 grains of powder. You're going to have quite a bit more than that in the 5.56.
Well, I tell you, I have seen in the past couple of days prices have gone up, and I've seen a lot of 300 blackout ammunition from manufacturers starting to be on the shelves. I was able to go to Cabela's in outside the San Antonio area last week, and they had quite a bit of ammunition. Not as much 22 long rifle as I thought that they would have, or maybe that I thought they should have at this time, considering it's been so long since the stock was bountiful. But they did have 22. But what really I did notice is there was a lot of new 300 blackout ammo, the 300 Ace.
Yeah, and you'll often hear the 300 blackout referred to as a 300 whisper by some older folks, because the 300 whisper is almost the exact same tolerances as a 300 blackout. You'll see what a lot of it is in the big box stores. They'll actually have the jugs of the cased and sized brass. This is case length gauged and resized and cleaned, ready for you to prime, charge, and seat a bullet in it. So if you can, get yourself a reloading kit and look into that. That's an affordable way to do it. It's not inexpensive, but it's affordable. And then, like I said, you can normally pick up Pacific Northwest Arms or ammo. I believe Pacific Northwest Ammo. They typically have ammo that comes in right about $16 to $20 per box of 20, and they'll have either the 125 grain ballistic tipped, or they'll have the 147 grain full metal jacket. And I was shooting personally the 147 grain full metal jacket from Freedom Firearms, as well as the
okay, is it Freedom Firearms or Freedom Munitions?
I'm sorry, Freedom Munitions.
I'm going to stay away from stuff from Freedom Munitions. I've read too many bad things about it, and I especially don't think I'm going to buy any kind of rifle ammo from.
Well, I didn't have any problems with it. My stuff was new manufacture, was not remanufactured ammo. Wasn't anything pulled. I didn't have a single failure to fire. Everything worked as it should.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've had right after, I'd say probably middle of 2013. I bought a 500 round box of new manufacture 9mm, and I ended up getting a 115 grain because that's all they had. And so that's pretty much a standard load. There's no screwing up that load for any manufacturer. And I found them to be undercharged significantly to where we didn't create enough gas to kick the shell out.
Yeah.
The empty out.
And that happened on one of the 125 grain ballistic tip loads from P&W. That happened to me. So It could be a batch defect. It could be a problem just with that load not having enough powder.
I'm almost to the opinion now. It's worth buying your ammunition from the most reputable source you can, and I think time is tight, and time to stock up on good stuff. I'd say in the 5.56 range, I really like PMC. I think PMC is excellent ammunition.
I can't say I've ever heard anybody complain about it. So
I think it's everything that I know about PMC has been 100% success in its detonation. Every round is electronically tested. I receive no compensation from PMC. I just think that it's really, really quality made ammo with the science behind it. In 5.56, I'd say find what you can and buy that lot number as much as you can of whatever you like.
Yeah, and most people, what they have readily available is going to come out of Federal American Eagle line, whether it's the 5.56 or the 223 Remington. You'll see it in the plastic green and miniature ammo cases. They have the larger containers.
I think it's 60 or 120 rounds in those little boxes.
Yeah, see, the small black boxes are 90 rounds, and I believe that the mini ammo 120.
Okay, yeah, and I find that to be everywhere I see that I think it's 120 rounds. That's usually about $45-50.
Yeah, about the 120 rounds. You can get the 90 rounds will usually run you about anywhere from 36 to 45 bucks. Usually, they try and keep it under 50 cents a round.
Yeah, and it's half a penny under 50 cents a round is usually what it comes out to be. Yeah. It's quite expensive now. So if you find yourself a good load that you like at a price you like, buy it. Yeah, I think that's what's coming around the pipe now.
Yeah. So one of the things that I did also do.
Magazines.
Say that again.
Magazines. When I was at Cabela's, I did notice that they were low on magazines. They had a lot of P mags, and they had a lot of Pro mag, but they didn't have a lot of original manufacturer mags. Where they would have had, say, in the P mag section, they'd have maybe 50 P mags. They would only have maybe 5 or 6 other brands of metal mags.
Yeah,
but they had a lot of, and it was pretty much the same. The Pro mags were like pistol mags. It was they had a lot of the Pro mags, but very, very few of the manufacturer Metgar branded mags, and those are going to be the things that start disappearing soon when after Satan takes off.
Yes. Well, did you notice any of the 40 round magazines for the 5.56 or the 300s?
You know what? I've not. I've seen none of them for sale here. They did have some of the Surefire 60 and 100 round coffin mags at the Cabela's, but those are seriously expensive. I think it was $129 for the 60 round mag, and then for the 100 round coffin mag, I want to say it was $179.
Yeah,
I mean that's just a little too much for me.
So at the local Gander Mountain, to me, they have 40 round Magpul P mags for $19.
I would say if your rifle works with a P mag, I'd say there's probably no difference in them.
No, I will tell you there was absolutely no difference in price between that and the 30 round magazine. So why buy the 30 round magazine when you can buy the 40?
Well, if it the functionality of the idea of the item. But I'll tell you what, I like the idea of a 40 round magazine a lot more than a 30 round magazine. It's not just for the simple, well, it's 10 more, but it makes for simpler logistics with the ammunition. It's 2 boxes per magazine. That's what you need.
Yeah. Well, the way I look at it is that these P mags, they're made to take a licking, keep on ticking, and it's just plastic. It's not like you're going to be running out of a crushed steel magazine that can probably jab you or stab you or cut you if it gets run over by anything. Plastic breaks, oh well, big deal. So buying them up, and not only that, I keep getting those advertisements from folks like Palmetto State. They keep having their D&H branded steel mags. Those are usually about $7-8 per. So they're still floating around out there.
How do you feel about those D&H? I've never used those. I will say that C Products magazines are pretty damn good.
I can't think that there would be any, groundbreaking technology that they have that isn't already out there for steel mags. To me, it's whether or not they function to your individual rifle.
And they function fine for your rifle.
Like I said, I haven't tried those D&H mags. I'm just saying that they're probably no different than any of the other tried and true, OK or whoever else makes the magazines. I mean, these are all contract made, so it's not like there's anything that's out there that's going to be outside of production standard. So I can't. I mean, $7-8. What was it? 10 months ago or 2 years ago, steel mags were going for $20 a piece.
Well, I'm going to tell you, before Feinstein's last gun bill in 2013, they were used magazines that were a couple generations back on the followers, and those were selling $50 a piece.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
yeah, there you go. Well, Mike, we need to hit some 4 rules of firearm safety.
All right. First rule of firearm safety is every firearm is loaded until you physically and visually ensure that it is not loaded. So go ahead and crack the action, flip out the cylinder, remove the magazine, pull the slide back, make sure that the chamber is in. Rule number 2 is keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction at all times. Do not destroy anything, or do not point the muzzle at anything you do not wish to destroy. Rule number 3 is know what your target is and know what is beyond your target at all times. And the most important rule is keep the booger hook off the bang switch until it's time to put the booger hook onto the bang switch. And unfortunately, I think that time is coming right around the corner.
Yeah, you should be getting prepped. So, hey, I wanted to give a big shout out to Jules, our patron here on UCY TV. I was up in Clinton County in upstate New York off of Lake Champlain, and I was dismayed to see that in Clinton County, at the Walmart, you cannot find any centerfire or shotgun or even the regular 20 saying to me. That is the sportsman's paradise of the Adirondack Mountains, and you can't even go buy a gun at Walmart in that county. How do you folks do it?
Well, it's going to be the same way in California. They've got in the new set of bills that went through, they've got mandatory ammunition background checks.
Yeah, along with bullet fingerprinting. What do they call ballistic fingerprinting?
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to give a fingerprint to buy ammunition.
Right. And they had talked for a long time about actually having a micro imprint on each individual bullet that would trace back to the firearm that fired that round.
Yeah, they wanted micro stamping on firing pins or on ejectors, and then each lot number and each bullet individually numbered out of the lot. Yeah.
And I can tell you that Springfield, Massachusetts, which is absolutely no different, is also a wasteland for firearms owners. You have to have your firearms owner ID card out there, and you have to get that updated yearly in order for you to purchase an ammo or firearm.
Like the gun, the 10-round limits that they want. They got all the magazine bands and the AR-15.
Yeah, they got it all. Well, I will tell you this, that I did happen to see more rainbow flags in my short time in Springfield, Massachusetts, than nearly what I saw in San Francisco after living there for 5 years. There is a concentration there.
Hey, Swiss Charlie Hebdo. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
So I thought that was interesting. But I can say that I got a couple of dirty looks from people when they noticed my Texas license plates. So
you dirty sumbitch.
I was a dirty Southerner.
Let me ask you, how do you feel about the Army now fully funding transsexual conversion surgery?
Like I said, I have an opinion on it, but it doesn't matter. Apparently, because nobody asked me.
Your tax dollars at work.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The best thing is going to come out of all this is that now at least the Navy SEALs won't have to get out of the Navy to become transgenders. They can do it while they're in uniform, I guess.
You know, I almost want to make a joke about it, but dude, this is the joke. The whole thing is the joke, and we're the butt of the joke. So, yay for us.
Yeah,
Yay!
You can't say butt of the joke because that's a microaggression against people who engage in homosexual anal intercourse.
People with butts.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you know, I'm looking forward to hunting season coming up. You know, here we are in my state. We just actually have the Game Commission publish our annual hunting regulations, and surprisingly, my county does not have any additional restrictions. So it is still legal to shoot deer with the center fire rifle. And the only thing that we have as a restriction is we can't shoot within 100 feet of a roadway or from a vehicle, and we cannot shoot fox in this county. So everything else, fair game.
That'll work. You got any purchases on your mind in the next couple of weeks?
Ammo.
I think I'm in the same boat with you, dude. Ammo and magazines, man. I'll tell you what, I'm buying a lot of 147 grain 9mm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start stocking up on the 45. So, you know,
I think that's a good move. Everybody out there, yeah, I think it kind of behooves you to do the same if you're like-minded. And remember, they are going to come and take your guns. They are absolutely. They're not going to wait for you to turn them in. You will not stand in line. They are going to send some thug through your door to take them.
It happens in New York. It happens in California. It will happen everywhere else. Anywhere that they can give a federal job to somebody who has about a 87 IQ, they will do that.
And if they can give that dude a badge and a gun as well, even better.
Just think of the TSA. Just think of the TSA. So
you might have to feel up your daughter to make sure she doesn't have a gun.
Yeah. Oh, but Ahmed, you can go ahead and get on the plane, no problem.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Mike, we are about up at the end. We're going to have the bumper coming up. Like I said, thanks to everybody who's listening. Thanks to everybody in chat. Thanks to everybody who catches us on the rewind for UCY TV on YouTube. It's good to be back. I'm sorry I missed a couple weeks, but you know, being out there doing soldierly things and then getting to take a trip up north, it was time well spent with family. You know what I mean?
Yep. Nick, I'm glad you're back, and I got to say thanks to Jules at UCY.TV. Everybody listen, UCY.TV is a gift to all of us. It's one of the few places that lets anybody rant like I ranted tonight. I absolutely use it. So if you can, throw a couple bucks Jules' way. Give some support to the hosts here that put on out of their own pockets, their own time.